Dear men, why are you so afraid of getting married? Story 1. Name something that a man gets out of marriage that he can't get out of just dating. Nowadays, getting married for a guy in the US is one of the dumbest things you can do. Women don't want the marriage, they just want the wedding. Then, in 5 to 7 years, when they are bored, they can take his house, half his money, and his kids then take more of his money every month. It's just a horrible deal for guys. Story 2. Probably different for each person. Married now, but always said I wouldn't do it and put it off as long as I could. My parents divorced when I was about 12. My mom was cheating on my father, he was no saint either. She threw him out, my stepfather moved in. My father got stuck with child support and the debt, my mom got the house and half his assets. My uncle got married, then she divorced him for some other dude. Again, he got stuck with maintenance and child support and the debt, she got the house and half the assets. A few other scenarios, but you get the drift. My young experience dating wasn't all that awesome, the 2 serious girlfriends I had cheated. Why on earth would I work for things in savings just to have half of it taken away and get someone else's debt? At least that was my personal thinking at the time. Obviously, my thinking has changed now that I'm older. Married 18 years with 3 kids. But I completely get why someone wouldn't want to get married. Hell, even my wife and I agree, neither of us would get married again if something were to happen. Story 3. Men aren't afraid to get married. Individual males may vary on their willingness to get married due to age, socioeconomic status, their view of what their relationship is, family history with relationships. Sometimes they're in a relationship for fun and sex. Sometimes they're in a relationship for something more like marriage. I don't know your age, but if marriage is your goal, you need a heart-to-heart with your boyfriend about what and where your relationship is heading. Because this in-between bullshit doesn't work. Story 4. Men are not afraid of marrying the woman. Men are afraid of involving the government in their relationship. Men are afraid of what the government will do if, when you get divorced. Women are rewarded for divorcing men nowadays. I've seen so many men get absolutely destroyed by divorce. Would you go skydiving if there was a 50% chance that the parachute wouldn't open? Who would willingly go into a contract like this? You have a high risk of losing half your shit. The other part is rewarded for breaking the contract. You gain zero benefit from signing the contract. It is very expensive to sign the contract, expensive marriage celebrations and ring. True. If a woman truly loves her man, then she will not make him sign a contract that, most likely, will make him lose half of his money and assets, and potentially also his house and the right to see his kids. Story 5. Why don't men get as excited about the whole wedding thing? Because for every happily married man I know, there's the flip side of the coin, a guy who picked the wrong one and will straight up tell you the choice essentially ruined their life. It was the biggest mistake they ever made. I've heard this more times than I can count honestly. It's a big deal. It's a big commitment. It can get extremely ugly if it goes bad. There's a lot of reason to be hesitant. You let the wrong one in and they can ruin you. Change the whole trajectory of your life and make it miserable. Story 6. Okay, serious talk here. Depending on the country you live in, weddings bring little to no benefits to a man and about only benefits to the woman in the couple. Men who get married do so because they love their partner too much that they want to make them feel more special and get rid of the psychological pressure which comes with aging and having children, where it will affect her career prospect. If you don't have children, there is not much incentive for a man to get married because it will lock him out of having children. If you are making a lot of money, such as more than him, the divorce rate for college-educated women is extremely high. Now, that is not because women leave for fun, but because women who settle will eventually leave. And for a guy, knowing if a woman is settling may take quite a bit of time, as he will study how you react to conflict and everything over time. I know some couple who are together and have been together for more than 30 years. They got married about 7 years of dating. Now, 7 years might seem like a long time, but keep in mind that their guys don't gain anything from wedding and that it is only helping the women at every way of the step. So you need to be more special than everyone else for him to want to marry you. That can be in the form of having children, or being a long-term best friend or others. But for him to not show you to his parents mean that he don't think you are that special yet. And I insist on the yet. He probably love you, but there are probably things he wish you did in a different way. You might want to talk to him about those things if you really love him. Those things might be related to stuff you don't want to hear, and he might have avoided these subject because he cares about you. Maybe it is children, maybe sexual incompatibility, maybe related to the way you solve conflict or related your view of the world or many other things.